Agent Renfield receives an ominous letter. The sender was a Transylvanian nobleman called Count Dracula, who was interested in a house. Renfield was known for being a strange man with unpleasant rumors around him. He sends in one of his employees, Jonathan Harker, who seizes the opportunity. Selling a house to a rich nobleman is a profitable business and worth a strenuous journey. But Renfield also says, "You will have a marvelous journey, and young as you are, what matter if it costs you some pain, or even a little blood?" The house in question to be sold is miraculously directly on the opposite side of Jonathan's home. I mean, what could go wrong here? He informs his wife Mina that he might be away for some months, who certainly is sad but accepts his decision. He then packs his things and goes on his way, telling Mina not to worry, leaving her with his friend Westenra and his wife Lucy. The journey was long and hard, and on a break at an inn, he orders something to drink. It has to go fast. He should already be at Dracula's castle. But the barkeeper urges him to stay the night. The evil beings grow strong in the night. He chooses to stay, finding a book that tells the story of the first Nosferatu. The name rings like the cry of a bird of prey, never speak it aloud. The next day, Jonathan is back on his way, but shortly before they reach the castle, the carrier refuses to go further. "We will go no further, sir, not for a fortune. Here begins the land of phantoms," he says. So Jonathan goes further along, only to be greeted by an ominous black carriage. He enters it, and then they travel further. When they reach the castle, the coachman leaves him there to enter the castle, which he hesitantly does. He then is greeted by the Count himself, who informs him that he is late and that all his servants are already gone. They then have dinner, where the two men sit together. Jonathan cannot hide his discomfort, because the Count is constantly eyeing him. During his meal, he cuts his finger by accident. He wants to clean the wound with a handkerchief, but the Count stops him. "Blood, your precious blood," and then proceeds to try to suck his blood, to which Jonathan horrifiedly steps back. The Count is larger than Jonathan and forces him into a conversation where they chat for hours. Since the Count says it's still hours away from dawn and he has the whole day to sleep. Forced to follow the Count's bidding, he sits down, but as the sun roses, he awakens. He notices that there are 2 little wounds on his throat. Maybe mosquito bites? He feels unwell, but tries to keep his spirits high. At least someone prepared breakfast for him. He then explores the castle, since he cannot really find anyone, and writes to Mina. The same evening, he wants to seal the contract with Dracula, but Dracula notices a photo Jonathan carries with him. The photo depicts Mina, which Count Dracula certainly has taken a liking to. "Is this your wife?" he asks. "What a lovely throat." He then proclaims that the mansion is to his liking and that he will enjoy being Jonathan's neighbor. He then signs the contract. Jonathan retreats to his chamber and proceeds to read the book from the inn. He reads that Nosferatu drinks blood to survive, and that you can see fang marks on its victims' throats. And now he realizes what's happening to him. The Count is the Nosferatu, and he's feeding on him. He tries to escape, but the Count is one step ahead. Jonathan flees, but realizes he's stuck. He can't climb outside because it's too high, and he can't leave through the door since the Count is there. He is pretty much imprisoned. We then cut to Bremen, where Mina is sleepwalking and having visions in her sleep. She dreams of Jonathan being attacked by a strange creature, which awakens her as she screams for Jonathan. This somehow is picked up by the Count, who stops his attack on the helpless man and then begins his retreat. Mina then faints in a fever. Cut back to Transylvania, where Jonathan looks for a way to escape and finds an ominous coffin, where a certain Count seems to be resting, which scares Jonathan half to death. He then runs away. Back to his room, he sees the Count carrying away wooden boxes on a carriage. He then enters one of the boxes himself. What he is planning with it, we don't know yet, but Jonathan is set on escaping this imprisonment, whatever it takes. He ties together a makeshift rope to escape his prison and climbs down the wall, only to fall and lose consciousness. To his luck though, he was found and brought to a place where he could be nursed back to health. He was feverish and riddled by night terrors, so certainly not in a place to return home. Meanwhile, the boxes filled with earth were loaded into a ship and transported to Bremen. Renfield in the meantime has gone insane and was transported to a mental institution where he would just eat flies and attack people. He also craves blood. Mina hasn't gone insane, just even more worried for Jonathan. But she then receives a letter. Jonathan is coming home. Renfield, meanwhile, reads an article in the asylum. Apparently, a new plague has broken out in Europe. All the victims are young and show 2 red marks on their throat, which amuses the insane man. The next scene is on a ship called Demeter, where crewmates keep dying, one by one, until only the captain and the first mate were alive. They find a box where rats are coming out, but suddenly another box opens, only revealing the Count. The man flees to the deck and straight jumps off the board, most likely to his death. Dracula then also comes aboard. The captain insists to stay on the board of his ship by tying himself to the boat. Well, you can guess what's going to happen to him. Mina then has visions again in her sleep. She sees the boat, it's coming, he's coming, and she has to meet him. A boat is entering the harbor and Renfield is ecstatic. The master is coming, he has finally arrived. Renfield overpowers a guard and flees the facility. Dracula just takes one of his boxes and enters the town, followed by rats. He is looking for his new home, and he just found it. But Jonathan was fast as well and awakens his wife, who feels like a curse has been lifted. The city meanwhile is examining the lifeless boat. Why is everyone dead? But the logbook reveals it. The rats brought the plague, and the town enters a state of chaos. Back to Mina. She decides to break the promise to her husband to never open the Book of Vampires. Yes, the book from the inn. She was too curious and finds out how to defeat the vampire. Only a woman, pure of heart, can defeat him by offering her blood freely to the Nosferatu and keep the vampire with her till the break of dawn. She also realizes what happened to her husband and what's happening now. They have to do something because the Nosferatu is watching them every night. The situation is dire. The insane Renfield has escaped from the asylum, the plague is spreading, and Dracula is waiting to attack. But Mina sees an opening. She makes Jonathan leave, trying to get her some medical attention, but then invites Dracula in, who clearly is interested, and directly takes the bait. But turns out she tricked the vampire and keeps him till the break of daylight, and the Nosferatu finally dies. Mina's sacrifice managed to kill the Nosferatu and end the plague, and the curse is lifted, ending the movie. This was my short summary, but I also have 2 full versions of the movie uploaded. One version is the original version, and then there is an HD remaster. I did a little recut, so that you get the original title cards and the original soundtrack, but the newer high definition pictures. So, if you want to see the full movie, links are in the description. See ya guys, bye.